I'm loving WARD-PROWSE instead. Bosh! It's happened again. It's happened again. Tottenham Hotspur. It's happened again. I tell you what, it's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. As long as I'm here, it's who we are, mate. 3-point lane is at it again. We're running around Tottenham, running around Tottenham, running around Tottenham with our European Cup singing, I've got a trophy, haven't you? Hang on, let me rattle through these a minute. First team in the Premier League, first team in Premier League history to be leading 1-0 in 5 games consecutively in the Premier League and not win any of them. Tottenham have now dropped more points from winning positions than any other team in Europe's top 7 divisions so far this season. Good morning, good morning. It's a cracking morning, isn't it? Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I've got a monologue wrote, and I'm going to read that out in a second just to sum up my thoughts. Then we'll go through things on a more broader level. But yeah, I've never been so excited, probably since the final, to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and do a morning video, because that's exactly what I am doing. I think the juxtaposition between last time out against Tottenham and this time is massive. I mean, last time out they were singing West Ham get battered, having a party when they don't call it their cup final. This time, champions of Europe, we know what we are, bellowed out of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with Spurs fans in their thousands just shuffling quietly out of the stadium. It paints a picture of perfection, doesn't it? And satisfaction for West Ham fans that did fear the worst during the first half. A blistering and rampant start from Big Ange's depleted due to injuries Tottenham side resulted in West Ham completing under 30 passes in the first 26 minutes of action. We did find ourselves 1-0 down at the break, and thankful for that, as it were, after an onslaught from Tottenham in the opening 20 minutes. What only could be described as one-way traffic was painful to watch at times, but a clear pathway remained. It was maintained from West Ham by just keeping that 1-goal deficit and not, letting the floodgates open for Spurs. Tottenham's attacking tendencies presented the Hammers with an abundance of opportunities, really, didn't it? With their high line, the ball straight through the middle, the ball over the top was an option every single time, because they don't have Van de Ven there, who's really quick to get back and recover. So we had a path and a way to carve our way through back into this London derby, and the equaliser was assisted by a modest piece of luck for Moyes' side, with several ricochets leaving the ball finding itself in the feet of in-form Jarrod Bowen, who did the rest, firing the shot into the top right-hand corner, right next to the Hammers faithful, of course. Spurs then seemed rattled, didn't they, and pushed onto the back foot after that goal, which is a rarity, which they haven't done on many occasions so far this season, which is a credit to the resilience of West Ham and how good we were in that, in that second half display. Richarlison headed wide from 5 yards unmarked, and from that moment on, it possibly, and it did indicate it might just have been our night. And so it was. James Ward-Prowse completing an impressive 1-2 with the post before slotting it into an empty net after a really sloppy Udogie back pass and rash goalkeeping from Vicario. Desperation describes the remaining 16 minutes plus injury time, with West Ham putting everything on the line to ensure all 3 points went back to East London. Someone like defending some of those blocks, body line stuff, and I tell you what, I think we deserve to get something out of the game in the end. Moyes declared post-match that all credit should go to the players, and I wholeheartedly agree for that second half performance. What a game, what a roller coaster of emotions, and what a result. We just keep churning out results, don't we? It's just perfect timing as well, and perhaps a coincidence that it was 6 months to the day since we won our cup final. We actually won a cup final. And 6 months on, Bowen scores to win Spurs' cup final. It's just poetry. Honestly, who is writing this script? Welcome back to West Ham Official. Wow. Wow, I tell you what, I loved it last night, and I'm struggling my way through this because my throat is still nursing a huge cheer that I let out when that second goal went in. My throat is still killing a little bit from that, but honestly, that away end looked incredible last night. There was some unity in that side. When those players walked over at the end, there was badge taps, there was some real passion provided, and I tell you what, those fans love that. And if I was in that stadium, I'd have been fearing the worst in the first half, probably not watching some of it with my eyes closed with apprehension, because of how dominated we were, especially in those opening 20 or 30 minutes. But despite that, I thought we grew into it a little bit more after sort of half an hour. And really, I thought Spurs were really poor for a good hour of that football match. And when you're poor for an hour of a football match, then then your chances of winning the game are up against it. I don't think we were brilliant. Don't get me wrong, um, but we did enough, and we managed to exploit the sort of issues that Spurs have got in terms of injuries. And then when they needed to turn to the bench for some options, for some sort of go-to players, the quality just wasn't there, and that's what was lacking for Spurs. He turned to the bench, put on Richarlison, he came on, missed a free header from 5 yards out. They put on Brian Gill and a couple of other players that were completely ineffective, and that was probably the difference in the second half, because they ran out of ideas. We had all the ideas, and it resulted in West Ham picking up all 3 points. I'm absolutely buzzing about it. We managed to get those 3 points, 3 points from 3-point lane. Look, you can't sway away from the fact that first half was really, really bad. But we're not going to look back and think that now, are we? We're going to look back and say Tottenham effed it up again against West Ham, and that's the bottom line. And Big Ange, he's struggling now, isn't he? He hasn't won a game in 4. He hasn't won a football match in the Premier League since the 27th of October. Big Ange. It's just funny, isn't it? Listen, we could sit here and take the mick all we like, but Tottenham are a very good football team, and they will win a lot of football matches this season. They've been unfortunate with injuries, and we sort of played them at the right time, and we managed to exploit, what they had there. And I thought, even though they have injuries, and we know that, but even the sort of first team players that did play, I thought were really anonymous. I mean, I didn't even know Son was on the pitch until he got subbed off. To be honest with you, Udogie and Vicario, their 2 starting players, were at fault for one of the goals. So I don't think it's all down to that, and I think it's down to the way we stuck in, we dug in, and we were resilient as well. Because it was clear in the first half it wasn't working. I think somebody put on Twitter, even they picked up on the TV, Bowen talking to Moyes, during a stoppage, and saying, "This isn't working, boss." But we stuck it out, and in the end, you've got to say it's a Moyes masterclass, haven't you? It's a complete Moyes masterclass. Honestly, I don't think I'd be saying that after that first half. But we managed to do the perfect David Moyes thing: absorb the pressure with minimal damage, just the 1 goal going down. Right, we absorbed the pressure. We then frustrated Tottenham with just the goalie, because they knew that wouldn't have been enough. We got a bit of luck to get a goal, which you need against these big 6 sides to pick up results. So we got that bit of luck, and then we managed to get another one, and then we frustrated them even more. And we defended for our lives. We defended with everything on the line in that last quarter of an hour, and you could tell those players really meant it as well. In the first half, there was a lot of passengers. In the second half, for once, you've got to give credit to David Moyes' team talk. We've criticised it in this calendar year. 16 goals we've conceded just after the half-time break in this calendar year. But it had the reverse impact yesterday. He obviously G'd him up during that half-time break, because a fair few of them players looked a little bit more up for it in that second half. Most notably, Lucas Paquetá, who I thought was pathetic in that first half. He just didn't want to be there, did he? He tried to go down with an injury. He was walking around. He had shades of Felipe Anderson of 2019 in him there, which was really frustrating. But he came out for that second half a different player. Getting in for tackles, actually shielding the ball, keeping hold of the ball, passing it off, and we sort of manufactured a really good system there, where Bowen stayed for the most part in that second half. He just stayed on that defensive line, because it was so high. We could afford to leave Bowen there because of how high it was. And a couple of times, my only sort of qualm with Kudus especially is that a couple of times Kudus got the ball and he just gets his head down and runs, and Bowen was making a run and he was in a really good position to get through on goal, but Kudus just didn't see it, which was a little bit frustrating. But I mean, that's where you've got to exploit Spurs, haven't you? You've got to put a number 9 or a runner with a bit of pace and who's able to finish in level, make sure they time their run and just play the ball over the top, especially with the pace lacking. With Van der Ven absent, then that's what you've got to do to hurt Spurs. Pretty obvious at the end of the day. Just a couple of talking points. I mean, just the passion, the determination, the resilience, the grit, the never give up attitude, the resolute nature of that team last night. Just really, really proud of them, and Moyes will be as well, because the first half and the second half is truly, for the football cliche, it was a game of 2 halves, and there is absolutely no doubt about that one. But I thought Spurs were relatively poor for an hour of that football match. They didn't really create as many chances as probably the possession should have suggested in that first half. I mean, after 15 minutes, they'd had 90% possession. And yes, they were battering us, but I can't really recollect Fabianski making too many clear-cut saves, to be honest with you. You know, a couple of routine ones, but no out-of-this-world saves when we were completely on the back foot. So at the end of the day, they dominated us, but to no sort of avail with just the one goal and then us managing to turn things around. Happy days. Emerson just keeps getting better and better, doesn't he? I thought he was excellent last night, once again at left back. Thought Soufal struggled in the early stages of the game, but then managed to sort of find his feet and helped out offensively quite well as well on the overlap. But I thought Emerson was really, really good. Just defensively solid, and he bombs his way up. And once he went on the charge, he ran from left back all the way through to the edge of the box centrally and tried to get a pass off to create a goal scoring opportunity. But every aspect of his game is just improving, isn't it? What a signing for £12 million. That is absolute peanuts. And hopefully with that goal from Bosh, James Ward-Prowse, we could see a resurgence in his confidence as well. You know, that's his first goal since mid-September for West Ham. So hopefully that can give him a bit of confidence that I think he's been lacking, because overall it wasn't just a goal for him yesterday. I thought his overall performance was an improvement on recent weeks as well. Defensively, I thought he put in some really good work, and he passed the ball out really well and helped, you know, on the counter attack as well. He was the man that was there on most occasions, helping Jarrod Bowen. And of course, it you know, it came back to show when he did a 1-2 with the post and scored, because he was up there with Bowen, and Bowen got the hell out of the way of it because he was miles offside to allow Ward-Prowse to score a legal goal and to get West Ham that 2-1 lead. Now, Moyes experimented with Kudus and Bowen, fluctuating them between up top and the right, and I can definitely establish that I prefer Kudus on the right and Bowen up top, just for the Kudus element of it, because of the pace and drive he provides on that right hand side. I know it's Bowen's best position as well, but I think the role is more suited to Bowen up front than it is to Mohamed Kudus, in my opinion. Fabianski came into the side because of a wrist injury that Alphonse Areola picked up yesterday in training. Could he have done better for the goal? I think so. I think he was quite slow moving. It was a looping header. It wasn't like he sort of drove it flat into the top corner. It looped up and it hung in the air for an age. So I think possibly he could have done better with the goal. But apart from that, his kicking was a little bit questionable at times, Fabianski. But apart from that, solid in my opinion. Look, it's good to have Captain Kurt back, isn't it? Just a bit more establishedness in that back line. Stability is the main part of it, because he just gets himself in front of things, doesn't he? You know, he blocks a lot of things. He puts in a lot of really, really important tackles that sometimes get forgotten about, to be honest with you. And just have him back there, I think, was a massive boost, and it did show. Spurs missed key players, which was evident, of course, but as I mentioned, I mean, you know, a lot of their mistakes and anonymous players were first teamers, and they were really not at it. And I mean, I've never had so much joy watching a video of Jamie O'Hara absolutely ranting to Jason Cundy on TalkSport last night. I just watched that a minute ago, which was mildly amusing because he was like, "We can't lose to West Ham. Oh, it's West Ham. Oh, we can't lose to them." Well, you did, mate, and it's happened once again, Jamie O'Hara. Listen, West Ham deserves something from that game. I genuinely believe that after that second half display, the way we played, the way we silenced that Tottenham Hotspur stadium, I thought was simply brilliant. We didn't allow them a route back into the game after scoring. You know, we didn't concede straight after scoring, which we do sometimes. We did park the bus for a huge proportion of that game, but we knew that was going to happen. We knew that's what Moyes was going to attempt. And when you really look back at it, we keep churning out results. No matter how bad we're playing, we keep picking up results. The football's awful. It's not pretty at all. But if we can keep getting results like that, if we can keep having nights like that, beating Tottenham away, it's magical. It's brilliant. It's simply sensational. And that is all the result and not the performance. I mean, the passion and happiness from that team when they walked over to the away end, it was infectious, wasn't it, really? It was just so good to see, you know, players really letting out their emotions, because they worked hard. They were under the pump in that first half. And to come out of it in the other side for the what was the best team in the league and all this stuff. You know, they've gone on a horrible, horrible run of form, but of course that's down to the injuries that they've picked up. But I mean, they're still playing a really good brand of football, and they can get exposed, and we did expose them, and Chelsea exposed them a few weeks ago. Of course, that was different circumstances, but they did, and you know, there is a way to break down this side. They aren't completely invincible when they've got all their players back there, because you know, there is a ball over the top every single time with the incredibly high line, pretty much from the halfway line, which Spurs occupy. And that's what teams have got to, that's what teams have got to try and do to break down this side. And we did it. It's a hard fought win at 3 Point Lane. Moyes' record breaking men. I think somebody said that this is the record points tally we've had at this stage of a Premier League season, 24 points after 15 games. You wouldn't know it with the amount of negativity going around the fan base, but it's it is about the performance as well. It's about what we're paying to watch. And at the moment, it's not pretty, but we keep picking up results. You know, Moyes keeps proving us wrong. He goes on a few wins and then a few really bad losses, and he's picked it back up again last night. Now we're going to Fulham with a 5 point gap between us and Chelsea in the in the middle stages of that Premier League table. And even as I look at the Premier League table now, and I don't like to look at it really before Christmas, but I'm going to now. Sod it. Why not? I mean, we've got 24 points. We're just 6 points off City. We are 12 points off the top, but that's beside the point. You know, we're just a point off Brighton, 2 points off Newcastle, 3 points off United, and you know, 6 points, 8 points, sorry, off Aston Villa. So we are keeping ourselves in that top half of the table really nicely. As I said, we've bridged a 5 point gap between us and Chelsea and Brentford, who find themselves on 19 points, and Fulham, who are on 18 points. And yeah, absolutely brilliant. I've waffled for 17 minutes, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. I'm loving WARD-PROWSE instead. Get in. Honestly, West Ham Twitter is a glorious place at the moment. It was last night, and it certainly is this morning. Good morning, mate. Big Ange, I hope you're feeling well this morning, because you haven't won a Premier League football match. It's the 27th of October, and West Ham are a big part of that now as well. Absolutely brilliant. The smile has not been removed from my face. I'm going to walk into school with front this morning. You can flipping guarantee of that one. But until the next one, build up for the flipping Fulham game's got to come soon, because the games are coming thick and fast as we go to Craven Cottage on Sunday. So content for that is coming up soon. But I just had to live in the moment with this game. Absolutely brilliant. From me, come on, you Irons, and I will see you soon right here on West Ham Unofficial. It's happened again. Tottenham Hotspur. It's happened again. Come on, you Irons, and bye-bye.